Evening.
I'm going to call this meeting to order. Thank you very much. Ms. Byram, can we have roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Hawkins,
Here.
Miss Dawson,
Here.
Mr. Rickett,
Here.
Miss Whittington,
Here.
Miss Harrington.
Here.
Madam Chair, the clerk certifies the presence of a quorum.
All right, thank you. Dr. Hornick, any adjustments to the agenda?
No, ma'am.
All right, seeking a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, agenda approved. And we will now be going into closed session. Ms. Whittington, can you read the motion, please?
Jack,
Or
Jack's
Mr.
ready.
Rickett, can you
Yes.
read the
I
motion,
was like,
please?
did I really get fired?
Okay, go for it.
More like passed over, but
More like passed
I
over.
figured you were going to be happy to pass it along,
I
but
was,
go
but
for
I
it.
felt bad for holding on. Laura's doing something on my computer. Pursuant to 2.23711A of the Code of Virginia, the Orange County School Board will convene a closed meeting for the following: discussion of personnel or the performance of division employee as authorized by Section 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia for resignation, termination, transfer, employment, salary adjustment, retirement employees in the superintendent's contract. Discussion of pupil personnel is authorized by Section 2.2-3711A2 for early admission, waiver of compulsory attendance, out of county, out of district request, and student discipline.
A second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're now in closed.
Thank you.
Do you think I have time to run really quick and get my drink out of my car? Go. I'll be fast, I'll be fast. Not too many
Fast. She needs her drink.
I can relate. All right, I will call this meeting back to order. Mr. Rickett, could we have closed session certification, please?
Whereas the Orange County School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas 2.2-3712D of the Code of Virginia requires certification by the school board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Orange County School Board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, 1, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed, and 2, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
And a roll call vote, Ms. Byram?
Mr. Hawkins?
Aye.
Ms. Dawson?
Aye.
Mr. Rickett?
Aye.
Miss Whittington?
Aye.
Miss Harrington?
Aye.
Madam Chair, the clerk certifies the vote as follows: 5 yes votes and no no votes. The resolution is approved by a 5-0 vote.
Great, thank you. Dr. Hornick, disposition of personnel?
Yes, ma'am. Please recommend approval of the personnel actions as presented in closed session.
Move to approve the request for a waiver of compulsory attendance under the religious exemption for our pupil personnel case number PP 2025-23.
And we'll roll that into the personnel. Second?
Second, yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries. All right, we're now in open session. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Dr. Hornick, we have recognitions tonight.
Yes, ma'am. We have some important recognition this evening. Marlene, are we going to start with you? Would you like to, or is it? And Miss Burke. I see Miss Burke back there. Hey, Renee.
Thank you.
Doing great. How about yourself?
All right, so we've got some important guests that we've got tonight. So we've got Mr. Drinkwater and Mr. Hayes from the American Legion here in Orange County. And they're here to recognize some special students tonight for their essays. Did you want to kind of jump in there or give more description?
So our local representatives from our American Legion Post 156 reached out to both Prospect Heights and Locust Grove Middle School regarding an essay contest that they were running. And so I'm just going to introduce them, and then they're going to recognize our 2 students who won the essay contest, Aspen Witherspoon and what is the?
Mason Mayo.
And Mason Mayo. So I'll turn it over to them. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good evening, fellow members of Orange County School Board and fellow citizens. I am Alan Drinkwater, current commander of American Legion Post 156 here in Orange, Virginia. With me tonight is Joe Hayes, our essay contest chair. The American Legion Middle School essay contest is designed to give the students an opportunity to express their pride in America by writing an essay that begins with, "I like living in America because." We are dependent on the schools and teachers to do the hard work in this contest, taking time from the regular classroom schedule to allow the students to write the essays by hand without help or reference. We then ask our teachers to judge the entries and select one to represent their school. A committee at Post 156 then selects one winner from Orange County to represent us at the American Legion District 13 contest. The District 13 contest winner will be entered in the Virginia Department contest. At this time, I'm turning the program over to our essay chair, Joe Hayes.
All right. Alan, why don't you stay there and we'll bring the kids up to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's start with the winners from Prospect Heights Middle School, Mason Mayo. Welcome to the teacher. Elaine Seal, and Principal Renee Bork. All right, please come up, please. Mason.
Stand up.
Mason, for your winning entry, the American Legion Post 156 would like to present you with a certificate and a check for $50.
Great.
Seal, please. Seal here.
That's me. Yes,
All right,
sir.
sorry. For your efforts to organize the writing and judging of the entries from Prospect Heights, we would like to present you a certificate and a check for $25.
Thank you, sir.
All
I
right.
appreciate you all. Thank you.
Okay, and Principal Rourke, I'm sorry. We also have a check for Prospect Heights Middle School for $50.
Thank you very
Thank you. Congratulations for a job well done. All right, next we'd like to call up the winner from Locust Grove Middle School, Aspen Witherspoon, along with her teacher, Mr. Neil Brown, and principal, Miss Marlene Rumbach. Aspen, for your winning entry, the American Legion Post 156 presents you with a certificate and a check for $50. Aspen's essay was selected to represent Orange Post 156 in the District 13 contest. Congratulations on your reward and your hard work, and we wish you good luck at the next level of the contest. Ms. Down, for your efforts to organize the writing and judging of the entries from Locust Grove, we'd like to present you with a certificate and a check for $25. And Principal Rumbach, we also have a check for Locust Grove Middle School for $50.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, if you want to come over, we'll bring our winners up, we'll take some pictures here on back up as well. Come on up, come up in, we'll get them, we'll send it to you.
Will we get to see their essays, I wonder?
Sorry.
Sure. Oh, yeah, that's better.
Congratulations, guys. Congratulations. Great job. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Nice to meet you. Thank you all. Ms. Seal, Ms. Burke, thank you guys very much.
Will we be able to see their essays?
Alan, question is, would it be possible for the board to see the essays, to read them?
Awesome.
The students had to handwrite them? Was that part of the deal? That's
Yes.
great. Handwritten, that's great.
We can connect and make copies and give you the board members the.
If you had to handwrite it, you only make one copy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just zip it to us. Yeah. Can always like scan.
Yes, take a picture.
That was a big moment when I learned that my phone would do
Can
it.
scan.
Scan.
It's a whole new world.
Yes, if we have them here, then we'll just go ahead and make copies now, Renee.
Excited, it made my day.
It scans, it faxes too.
Does it do that too? Who has a fax machine?
I don't know. Some government agencies still do.
Mm-hmm.
We'll email them to you, okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
that'll be fine.
Thank you.
Mr. Drinkwater, Mr. Hayes, I just want to thank you for your service to our country.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
We also want your service to our
Thank you.
Very much so.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
I'm
It's good to
very
see you.
aware of what the VFW does in Orange County, and we thank you.
America's Legion.
That's what I meant. I'm sorry.
What an insult.
We were just testing you.
So, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board.
Open mouth, insert book.
Renee Honaker is headed to make copies, so you guys can read what was written.
Wonderful.
And I will yield back to you all. Thank you for allowing us to recognize these students this evening.
I'm really excited that was written.
Your handwritten, that was good.
Yeah, that's exciting. Okay, we're on to action items. Item 6, number A, letter A, is a field trip request.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. So this is coming from Coach Pinnell, indoor track. This is an overnight trip for the track team, headed to Lynchburg, if my memory serves me correct, and we would appreciate your movement on this evening so they can participate at Liberty.
All right,
I'd
a motion?
like to make a motion to approve that request.
Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great.
Good luck to Coach Pinnell.
And the girls.
Team, go.
That's right. Thank you very much. Next, is it okay to move on to
Oh,
B?
sure,
I'll
move
just go
on,
through. Okay.
please.
Next to B is a supplemental appropriation for the CTE Center funding. And so I just want to make sure that we had an opportunity to bring this information before the board. At the Board of Supervisors meeting in January, either late January or early February, the Board of Supervisors voted on a reimbursement resolution to fund the CTE Center. And they are beginning to work with their financial consulting firm to figure out the best way to fund the center. What you will see is that the county and us are utilizing a placeholder of $23 million. That is not a final price of the building. We do not know yet until we get to a comprehensive agreement the cost. I do know that our colleagues across the street at the government, the county government, want to make sure that they are prepared to fund the building, and so that's where this number comes from. And of course, we will keep the board and the community updated as we move forward towards our comprehensive agreement. What you will notice out of that 2.8 million, I'm sorry, 2.2 million is coming off the top essentially from the school construction assistance program grant that Orange County received. It was awarded to us in mid-December, and we received the award letter. I believe it was early to mid-January. And so again, this is a project that is going to be in addition to the FY26 budget. So it requires a budget amendment, and it will require the Board of Supervisors to do a public hearing on this particular matter, since the amount is greater than 1% of the budget. And so again, this is a placeholder number so that the books match, and the supervisors can begin the work on their end, which is to determine the most appropriate and most efficient funding for the CTE building. And again, I will restate that this is not a final price or a final number related to the construction of the building. That is still to be determined. And also attached to this documentation is the grant award letter that we received.
All right, so we're seeking a motion.
Yes, ma'am.
Make a motion to approve requests for FY 2026 supplemental appropriation in the amount of $23 million to fund the OCHS CTE Center project.
All right, we have a second?
Second, yeah.
All right, any other discussion or questions or,
Let's get this built.
all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Right, moving on.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair and members of the board. We appreciate your support. Next is another supplemental appropriation, and I'm just going to briefly walk the board through this documentation. Okay, thank you very much, Laura. What you will see here is a supplemental appropriation for a mixture of an increase in annual local support as well as unspent funds from the FY25 budget, as well as the $515,687 that was used to cover the bonus that was paid to employees. I believe we did it in August. And so what you will notice is the total amount is $1.26 million, $6,258 to cover the needs closet. This is FY25 unspent funds, $138,554.15 for additional unspent operating expenditures in FY25, an increase in $600,000 of annual local support from the county government for a new county transfer revenue of $744,812. And you also add to that the SOQ bonuses, which this board already approved that supplemental appropriation. The previous board approved that supplemental appropriation at the July 14th meeting for a total of $1.26 million. These are numbers that we have all been very familiar with as we've been working through, and we would like to submit this evening for your approval so that we can begin to coordinate with the county government to make this transaction happen.
All right, do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve request for FY 2026 supplemental appropriation totaling $744,812.32.
And again, the reason it's that number, not the 1.2, is because the board already acted on the 515 for the bonus.
Second.
A second.
All right. Any other discussion, questions? All right,
I would just like to maybe get a little bit of a reminder of how much effort you and your staff put into making sure that we were communicating with the county and where we came out, because we did anticipate that there might be a shortage at the end of the year when we were trying very, very hard to be fiscally responsible. So if you wouldn't mind giving a little bit of background.
Absolutely. I'm actually going to frame this response, Ms. Harrington, as a concerted effort from the leadership on both boards before the new leadership of the boards became the leadership of these respective boards. I heard from both sides very clearly, and from all of the board members, quite frankly, that there was a desire on both sides to have a much greater amount of presence and interaction between the two boards, not only in potential 5-on-5 full open meetings, but also within 2-on-2 meetings of finance committee for the schools, the school liaison committee, and we committed to that effort in our board retreat. We committed to that effort when we were onboarding. I heard it from each of the individual board members. And so the information back and forth between the schools and the county is flowing, I would say, at an all-time high. The relationship is very strong. There's a lot of support, and we will continue to ensure that that relationship is fostered to make sure that that relationship continues to be very strong. It's very important that both sides know the goals and the priorities of each other's boards and to carry those out effectively. And so great question. And it won't be just for this particular matter. It will be for all matters that impact the schools. So thank you very much for that question, Ms. Harrington.
Thank you.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, members of the board. Finally, this evening, this one has come forward as a time-sensitive matter, and Mr. Bennett can explain why. But this is an ask to the board to consider another project under the umbrella of E-rate. and Mr. Bennett can explain it better than I can. But Mr. Bennett, please feel free to take it away.
Thank you, Dr. Hornick. Madam Chair, members of the board, what I've put together is a project through federal program E-rate, and that is a continuation of the projects we've been doing over the past several years to renew our network equipment. This year is the first year in the new 5-year cycle. This project would take care of Unionville, the remainder of Lightfoot, OES, Gordon Barber, which would only leave a few of the Locust Grove schools in this building. To put this out, we were looking for approval, so we can send this through the E-rate program and USAC to VITA, which is the Virginia IT agency. So it's state certified vendors that can bid on it for 28 days. We would then take it, bring it back to you all, select a vendor to work with, and then move forward with that project. We won't know a total cost until we get those quotes in, but based on past numbers, we are looking at roughly $145,000. But 70% of that is covered through E-rate funding, so we would only need to provide 30%, which is roughly $45,000.
Any questions for Mr. Bennett?
You said that this was the first year of the 5-year cycle.
Yes.
So are we spending all of our money in the first year, or what will happen in the next few years?
So we are provided a lump sum per student, and then we can use that over a 5-year period. So that way we can use that as local budget allows. Theoretically, we could use it all in one lump sum, but it would require 30% contribution from us, which is a little more difficult to do.
And we do not have staff that's able to install and do those things. That needs to come from someone outside of our internal staffing.
Correct. We don't have the manpower to accomplish that in the time frame that we would need to minimize downtime.
So I would say thank you for doing your due diligence and reaching out and looking at getting this funding opportunity for us.
Thank you.
Dr. Hornick, recommendation?
Yes, if we can move forward, because what you are allowing is Brandon to put this out essentially for bid. And then we will then be returning to the board probably in April, Brandon, I guess potentially May, for approval to award a contract.
I believe end of March.
End of March, okay.
So we can select that vendor, get it board approval on the final quote, and then submit it through USAC on or before April 1st.
All right, so we're seeking a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the submission of the 2026 E-rate application.
A second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board.
Bennett. Great. Dr. Hornick?
Thank you, Mr. Bennett.
Mr. Bennett. Yes, ma'am. On to reports this evening. We have 2 for the board. 2 of the board members have heard already at, for all intents and purposes, at the recent Rotary meeting, but I'd like to bring Renee Honecker forward. Dr. Honecker has put together a presentation since it is February, which is CTE month. Perfect. Renee, I'll turn it over to you.
Good evening. Thanks for allowing me to come and speak about one of my favorite things, CTE. Laura, I'll wait on you. Sorry.
I'm trying something different tonight.
Okay.
Realizing it's not working. It slows me down.
Thank you.
There we go. So tonight I'd like to talk to you about our roadmap to CTE expansion. And we'll start with this slide about why CTE expansion matters. When I was in high school just a few years ago, CTE had, that was supposed to be a joke, but no one laughed. CTE kind of had a stigma attached to it, which was, you know, these students went to CTE and these students were college bound, but that's not the way it is anymore. CTE really does have a dual advantage for all students, whether you're going to college or you're going into a career right out of high school or the military. I'm not going to read this whole slide to you, but you can see that for college students, it allows them to explore different majors before they get to college, and it helps them to avoid those costly switches, as we know some kids do when they get to college. It builds a resume for competitive admissions, and it earns transferable college credits through dual enrollment. For career-bound students, of course, it gains them immediate entry into technical trades and earns industry-recognized credentials and increases their starting salary through those credentials that they get. So as you can see, CTE is a very important program for us to have, and that's why we are so excited about our upcoming expansion. Here are some current statistics of our CTE program at Orange County High School as of now. Right now, we offer 60 individual courses covering 17 different career clusters. The state has 17 career clusters, and we do actually offer something in all of those career clusters. So we're very proud of that. And within those classes, students can take one or more classes, and we don't want them just to take individual classes. We want them to take a sequence of courses so that they can end up with an industry certification in that course. And many of our students do that, and you'll see on the right, the pie chart tells you that this is last year's statistics. Of course, we haven't done all of our testing this year, but during the 24-25 school year, 456 of our students earned state licensures, industry certifications, and workplace readiness credentials. So 456 students earned 529 credentials. 14 of those were state licensures in either cosmetology or nursing, CNA. 193 of those were workplace readiness skills, those soft skills as people call them, for students to be work ready. And 322 of those were industry certifications, and I'll just give you a couple ideas of some of them. We had 9 students who passed their Autodesk Certified Revit Architectural Design certification. We had the cosmetology, which I mentioned. We had our new program, our Future Teachers program. 8 of those students tried to take the Parapro, and 8 of them passed, so that was great. We have 23 students who passed the Autodesk AutoCAD examination, so that's another great one. Another one, our basic core craft skills, which is something that we work with Germana to give, and that's for our construction class. We had 23 students try that, and they had 23 students who passed, so 100%. That was wonderful. Autodesk, Code High School, cybersecurity level 1, we had 100% pass rate on the students who tried that. So we have some success in our certifications, and some of them outside of just the workplace readiness and the WISE, which is a financial literacy exam. So that was exciting, and with these new programs that we're going to talk about in a minute, we'll have even more of those. So, okay, Laura? I didn't know what to call this slide, so I just said the future looks amazing, because it does. With our new expansion of our programs and our new facility that we're going to be getting, we're going to be able to expand our programs into the culinary arts, which those students will be able to cater and, really make it a business out of the high school. Automotive, which I know we are all very excited for. Not only are we going to have automotive, the regular engines, but also one of the bays will be for diesel. Metalworking and expanded carpentry. We have, this is a sidebar, but right now we have several students. We are in a partnership with the new welding program, the company that's opened, I don't want to say it wrong, Swami, right? Swami. And we have, thanks to our wonderful Ed Foundation and our OCHS Alumni Association and Friends, right? Those two groups raised money and paid for some of our students to go over and get their first level of their welding certification, and those kids are loving it. We had a dinner last Thursday night at Prospect Heights for our Academic Scholar Institute students, and one of them came directly from there, and he had on his welding coveralls. He was so proud, and he said, "This is what I want to do for a living," and he was so excited. So that was really great that they are able to do that. We're going to be expanding our ag and our tech education. And the exciting part is we're going to be able to, instead of just having carpentry, we're going to be able to have HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and masonry. And we will also be able to expand some of our health and medical sciences offerings with an expanded space for them as well. But to get there, we do have to create a roadmap, and we've already started some of this. We have worked with our community, our business community, our parents, and our students to get input and looked at labor market data to help plan out some of these programs. I have to do that every year when we get a new CTE course. We can't just say, oh, we want to offer whatever the class might be. I have to actually research labor market data, and it has to be approved by the state, and we have to prove that that's a need in your area. So we go through that every year, but we did more of that with this, just to look and make sure that the programs that we want to offer are going to be employable for our students. So, the building design and equipment needs, the building design is underway. Last week we had someone from the company come and walk around the high school with me, and we showed him all of the equipment we already have. I will say he was impressed with what we already have, and a lot of that can be used. We won't have to replace it. It will move into the new facility, but he's helping us know what we have that can move and what we can possibly get money for if we were to resell. So, marketing and branding. Once we get going on this and we get those pieces in place, it's very important for us to market this to our students and to our families so that they know about these important programs that we're offering and that their students can take, as well as with our business community, because we want more opportunities for internships and work-based learning placement. So it's very important that we market and brand this. Then the hiring and recruiting will start, and we'll keep our fingers crossed that we're able to find teachers that year to fill all of those new programs. That's our goal, and we will have to really work on that, and we can't wait until the summer before. We have to start now. Instructional model and training. This is something that all of the CTE classes are going to go through, and we're starting it in March of this year. We've already scheduled someone to come and work with them on hands-on learning and how you make these types of classes an experiential type of learning. So we're going to really work on that with our CTE teachers. And then, of course, we will launch our program the summer before and open and have students in the building, and that'll be a great day. And then as we continue on, we can't just stop there. We have to continuously measure our success and look at programs and look at improvements that are needed. So that's our roadmap for this expansion. Again, this is one of the most exciting times for us because this is something that we've worked really hard for, and I thank you, the board, and I thank the Board of Supervisors for their support. And I would be remiss if I did not say that I really thank Dr. Hornick, who has not given up and has really been a staunch supporter of this program. And I don't want to get emotional, but it's been 10 years in the making, and it's been a lot more for the county. But for me, it's been 10 years in the making, and without his support, I don't think we'd be there. You really have been a great supporter for us. And basically, that's what I have for you tonight. Any thoughts or questions?
Thank you very much, Renee.
Thank you for the presentation. Thank you for your passion. Appreciate it. Can't wait for another little longer. Just wanted to know on the credentials earned on the licenses, industry certifications, and workplace readiness. Are these how many year programs?
Usually a student, for workplace readiness, all of our classes take workplace readiness because they're embedded in every one of our CTE classes. So every student has the opportunity to take the workplace readiness exam. The WISE test is another one that comes out of our personal finance, economics, and personal finance class. So those two are just a one class take one class, take the test. But the rest of them are 2 and sometimes 3 years of classes. Once they finish the sequence, they take that upper level. Some of our technology, they might take, there's A+ and Security Plus, and there are different levels that they can take for that, depending on what level of class they're in. And so, but most of these that I mentioned tonight are more like the second level or third level of a class.
And so the 529 credentials, they're not just for seniors that are.
No,
juniors.
it's
Okay.
all, yeah, it can be any student 9th through 12th, depending. Most of the 9th graders are taking the workplace readiness test, you know, they're not.
Wonderful. Thank you again. Thank you, Dr. Hornick.
I did have one.
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know the answer to this question about
Oh, no.
CTE.
I'm afraid.
So,
I hope I do.
you do. Have you started thinking about going into the middle school, or you're already doing it?
We do have CTE in the middle school, and what we have there are classes that are exploratories during their exploratory time, and students will rotate through different ones. So we have agriculture, we have technology, robotics, drones, things like that, so that the students can kind of get a taste. We have family and consumer sciences, all of those. They get a taste of that to see kind of what they like, so that when they get to the high school, then they can get into the more in-depth classes. We also have our high school CTE program. Teachers and some of the students will come to the middle schools and talk to them about what courses are offered. And then, of course, at our 9th grade night when students can come, they have a time when they can come and all the teachers set up and they can go around. Parents and students alike can, you know, see what the different programs are. But yes, we do have them in the middle school. You know, shorter versions of them, more of an exploratory type
Like an
program.
introduction style?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I really appreciate the fact that you shared the story about your dinner, you know, with the young man.
Yes.
You know, you got emotional talking about, you know.
Well, I got
Dr.
emotional when the
Hornick.
young man was telling me how
Well, that,
excited
yeah.
he was.
I mean, when you see a young person and it kind of clicks and the light bulb kind of goes off, that then you go, all right, you know, everything of what you've been fighting for, that's why you do it. So
He was so excited to talk about it. Like, I'd never met him before, and Mr. Sedano asked him to come over to the table where I was, and he said, tell her where you've been and tell her about what you're doing. And he was so excited and, you know, talking about his career. And I just thought it was really cool that he wore his, you know, his uniform that he had on, or his coveralls. And he was, you know, he came to this, but he came straight from that. And he was really proud of what he was doing. And when he got up and spoke to the crowd, he told them, you know, how appreciative he was of that and that this is what he wanted to do. So it was a really cool moment.
you know, when I'm sorry, one more thing. The last thing, Ms. Dawson and I saw the presentation when we joined you and Dr. Hornick at the Rotary, and I said this at the Rotary, and I just want to say it again. You know, how much I appreciate at a lot of personal time that I know that you have put in. You have held these programs together under tremendous circumstances, both professionally and personally. Duct tape, I think I said duct tape, I think I said string, and whatever it took, you just would not steer away from it. And so to actually have some resources, you know, I'm more excited for the kids, but I'm really excited for you as well.
It is exciting.
Because you kept it together and you kept the focus on it. So thanks for all you do as well.
Oh, thank you.
I have one question to Dr. Harper.
Sure.
So I know you guys are looking at partnerships with businesses for internships in the community. Who carries that? And then how can the board help create some of those partnerships or relationships?
We have a community liaison, Ellen Patera, and her main role is to work with the students, counseling them, and then finding business partners for them to go out and either do a work-based learning experience, which is a smaller experience for her to coordinate, or an internship. And I have to say, and again, this is very important to say, Ellen Patera does an amazing job with our internships. We have tripled the number in 2 years. She counsels those students, finds out what it is that they're interested in. They set goals together. She goes out and finds them multiple experiences to do over the course of the year. She checks in with them, she observes them, and then you're all of course, probably got your invitation to come to the night where the students present on their internships. So I think that's a huge thing if you all can come that night to support the kids, because they really do a great job. But these internships go well beyond anything I ever dreamed of, because she really does work with them and finds them some of the most interesting and relevant experiences. We don't have a culinary arts program, but we had 3 students last year who really wanted to go into culinary arts. She worked with local restaurants and some chefs and built a program for them. And they were working in local restaurants, and they were teaching them, and one of our students is now at a culinary institute because of that. So we don't let, little things like that stop us. She just said, well, we don't have culinary arts, I'll build it for them. So that's kind of where we are right now with our internships and work-based learning. Your support is when you're out in the communities, to really talk to our employers about how important it is to partner
Open
with
their
us.
doors. Yeah.
Yes. And that there are different levels of commitment. Sometimes it might just be that a business could come in and speak, about what, their business offers and what careers could be found there. So it might just be that small of a commitment, or a work-based learning where they have a student who comes to work and learns the job, or it can be as something as intensive as a true internship or an apprenticeship, if it's an apprenticeable, is that a word? Industry. So all of those are important. So when you're out and about and talking about these programs, and just really talking to our community about the importance of those programs, because the CTE class is one thing, but when the student can take what they learn in that class and get out in the real world and apply what they've learned, that's when it connects, and that's when it's what it's really supposed to be.
There'll also be a point in probably the not-too-distant future in which we're going to have to get additional staffing to support, right?
Yes.
At some point, the number of students that are actively involved in
It's a lot.
In these types of experiences, especially as we expand program, you're going to have more students with more transferable skills and have had more opportunities to get into the workforce. So I see, as I project into the future, I see more students taking advantage of more opportunities and better opportunities. And I think that will probably be the point where we have to look at staffing and adding a second set of hands will be necessary at some point.
Yes.
We had a couple of students at the Rotary meeting who spoke
Yes.
to the Rotary. They were very impressive. Both of them were just
Yes.
incredible to explain their
And
experience.
one of them actually works with Mr. Rickett.
with
so.
Mr. Rickett here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love the program.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a great
Absolutely
program.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? All right. We thank you, Dr.
Thank
Honaker.
you.
And
Thank
did I hear that your hand was involved in our posters back there?
Yes.
Was that a Dr.
Yes.
Honaker project?
Yes, it was one of my
Those
projects.
look amazing. And I also
Thank you.
heard that this was a Dr. Honaker
Yes.
creation. I did
That's
not know
my,
that either. So
That's
thank
my
you so much.
hobby.
We love it.
I like to do that.
Yeah.
That's your
We-
doodling on
we
the
appreciate
weekend.
it. Go back there and look at those
That's fine.
after.
Yeah, I like to
after
do
we're
that
done.
kind of thing. So.
Yeah.
I
Well,
used to
that's
teach
wonderful.
a class in that when I was a teacher, so,
Very cool.
yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to stay up because now I have the extreme pleasure of introducing our math coordinator for the division, Sarah Hallam. We have given many presentations, Dr. Wolfrey and myself, and Monica Weaver on literacy, and we thought it was time that you heard a little bit about our math program and how our one math coordinator for the entire division supports our teachers and does an incredible job of that. I don't know where we'd be without her. She not only supports us in our department, but she supports every teacher in the division, K through 12. She supports both teachers, and she also works with our new teacher program and health and PE and fine arts. So she has a lot of hats. But tonight she's here to talk to you a little bit about what she does and the important work that she's doing with our math program. So, Sarah?
Thank you so much, Dr. Honaker. Thank you, board and chair. I'm excited to be here to talk a little bit about math. I will do my best to stay within my time, I promise. Yes, I'm the division coordinator. I work with teachers, I work with students, I work with all kinds of support staff, and so I do a lot. I also work with families and coaching and professional development. So first we want to kind of give a little bit of the big picture overview of what is OCPS right now and how it's grown in the data piece. So when we look at the data, we can see us trending upwards, which is a mighty task last year. Last year we were thrown brand new standards with no time to prepare for them. So to see that growth with our students, the teachers put in a lot of hard work to get to that place that we were at last year. That is, we just have great staff, and I worked hand in hand with them to support them with how to implement these brand new standards. So that's where we were at with our overall performance. And then a little bit of a breakdown, so you can see each of our areas that we're looking at for students they've made growth. Everybody has made growth in the last 3 years, and we can see that with our data. So I wanted to kind of go over, like, how do I support the instruction in the county? One of the things that I do a lot. I support K through 8 with overviews, and so those are just my way of helping teachers understand, and I also invite EL specialists and our SPED department and long-term subs if they're in buildings, and principals also attend these meetings, and they're in the morning for our elementary staff and they're in the afternoon for our secondary staff, and the goal is to really help them to see what is it that you're supposed to be teaching, especially since we got thrown these new standards last year. How do we teach it? And so I do have a few examples there. I'm not sure if the links work. That's a video, don't click that one. Every now and then I do, if we have like an ice day or something, I will just record it. I won't have teachers attend an overview, and so that's an example of one. But you'll see how it kind of goes through, like, these are the standards that we're teaching, this is how long we're gonna teach it, these are our learning criteria, these are our boundaries that we're gonna live within with this unit, this is the focus, this is the progression of how you're gonna do it, some manipulatives to use, and goes through the vocabulary. It'll go through the vertical alignment so they can see where they were coming from and where they're going. And then I'll go over some teaching notes. This is the best instructional practice for how to teach this material for your students. This is how we use the CRA model, how you can use your concrete and representational abstract. And then I will go over some really big instructional practices that might just be overarching. So this is a multiplication one for students, so helping them understand how to move our kids into that multiplicative reasoning. So we have some of those conversations. And then we dig into the writing. I know it's a lot. If you just keep going, there's a lot. I always, I put a lot of information because I want to make sure that they can always go back and just read and kind of build on their instructional understanding of the material. And if they have questions, it's still here for them to go over. And then I give learning experiences and skills that they can use directly as lesson plans for the classroom. They're also given how to differentiate, how to enrich our students. They're writing, how can we write with our students? In our K world, we talk about, while we're not writing, these are ways we can have our students talk with us about the math so they learn how to write with it. And then we go over rich tasks they can use so they can add discourse and do the 5 Cs. And then if we have it, we'll add assessment rigor pieces. This is a very beginning unit of multiplication. If you go further into multiplication, where we have some test nav questions that the state has provided, those will go in here for assessment rigor. Our quick checks that the state's provided, those will go in there for assessment rigor. And we have conversations about what are the vocabulary we notice, what is, to what extent should students be able to do something. So this is how we kind of spend time during those overviews. It's 30 minutes. I come from New York. I learn how to talk fast, but I slow down. And I'm not easily taken off track. So if somebody asks a question, I can quickly answer the question and get back on track. Math is my jam. You can't catch me wrong most of the time with that. So these are overviews, and we, like I said, I do them from K-8, and they're in the drive, so they can get to them all year long, and I update them each year to make sure there's more resources and more things to support them with the materials. And then I also so that's how I support the instruction. I also work on developing our math leaders because there is only one of me. I don't have a math specialist in any, I don't have math specialists in any building, but I do have lead teachers in all of the buildings, so I really work towards developing them so they can also be that instructional support. And so some of the things we do is we have monthly meetings. In the monthly meetings, we'll do book studies together, focus on what are some really good math instructional practices that you can support your schools with, and we'll do the book study, and then the next year they'll do the book study with their staff. I also help to support them with doing their own professional development in their buildings. I have some lead teachers who do monthly PD in the morning with their teachers. I have all of them are working with their principals to work with the early dismissals to provide PD, and then every single one of the lead teachers, even some brand new ones who stepped out of their comfort zone, provided PD at our, we had in November we did a kind of choose your own PD. It was a PD choice day, and all of the lead teachers worked collaboratively to provide some professional development twice. So it was really out of their comfort zone, but it's their opportunity to really learn how to lead and present and become the leaders of math in their building. And then I also support them with getting professional development opportunities. So I have some of them that go to the VASCO, which is our, it's where we have assessment writing and at the local level. And then some of them have gone to the VDOE assessment writing committees that are held during the summer. I'm taking a group to VCTM this year. A couple of years ago, I took them as well. We do book studies and other conferences, and tomorrow at 6:15 in the morning, I'm taking a couple of them to Falls Church to do some addition and subtraction PD so that they can come back and support our teachers with addition and subtraction. So that's one way I help to develop the math leaders of the county. And to support schools, this is all real, I promise. To support schools bi-monthly, which means twice a month, I go into all of our elementary schools. So that's our Locust Grove schools, our town schools, and Gordon Barber, and our Unionville Lightfoot. One time a month I go in, and the principals and I spend time going and doing walkthroughs, looking at data, talking about what are the needs in your building, what is something that I can do to support what's going on in your building. And so we use that time to discuss and observe classes, see lots of stuff happening, and then we come up with a plan of how I can support the PLCs, and then I come back and the next time, and I work with the PLCs based on the needs that we observed based on our walkthroughs or the principal needs or assessment data. And some of the buildings I also do a before school PD that's just instructional practices. Maybe we've done some walkthroughs and we've noticed, we're really veering from some best math instruction. So that's a big school picture thing versus a small grade level thing. So we do those as well. Right now at Prospect Heights, I'm working intently with their grade 8 to support them with the implementation of our new HQIM, or our high quality material. We just adopted MathSpace, but we've had we had a teacher go into an emergency maternity leave early. And so I've been over there planning with them every couple of weeks, and then providing lesson plans and supporting them with their HQIM. And then I attend PLCs if a teacher or a principal really asks, hey, we're really struggling in this area, could you come and support us? I'll attend PLCs as needed. And then I'm one of the Region 4 math leads, and so one of the things we developed this year was a collaboration among Region 4 to provide outside of school hours PD that's our surrounding areas. So if we had Prince William, we had Frederick County, and we had specific things that the VDOE had provided for us to support with the new implementation of the SOLs. And so as a region, we created evening virtual PD sessions to provide additional support on those SOLs. And so that's also a way to support the schools.
Who's in Region 4?
Region 4, we go all the way up to the north, so we are the end of it, Madison, and then Rappahannock, and then push upwards. That's kind of Region 4. So Shenandoah, you have Falls Church City, you have Loudoun County.
So we need someone from New York getting in there, mixing it up.
I do. I just mix it up with all the people. Yeah, it's great. Some amazing people are in Region 4, and so we have Deb Crawford with VDOE Data Science who came in and just led a great data cycle. Her and I teamed that one, so it's great. So I also I also try to provide support for families and engage families in this as well. So one of the things I do is I work with the gifted teachers to do 24 math. We have 24 math district level, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. If you've never seen a 24 math competition, it is amazing. Our students work really hard. Our district one is in Locust Grove, and then our regional one will be at Prospect Heights. In the regional one, we have counties, Spotsy comes, Louisa comes, Rappahannock sometimes comes, Culpeper comes, we're here, and then Greene County also come to the regional tournament that we hold, and they just compete for who's the best at 24 math. The kids have a great time, and it's a great opportunity for them to practice their automaticity of some of the fluency skills that they're learning. I also support the Gifted Parent Night sessions by coming in, and I've done sessions for whole groups of people, or most recently they had just kind of a rotating presenter, and so I came in to support, to do one of those presentations to support them as well. Title I Family Engagement Nights, I'll attend those and support, just show what we're doing with math. And the biggest thing I do is really for our K-5 parents. They're a little bit long, but that's because I know the math that we teach is very important to our students, but can sometimes be a little confusing to our parents. So I've created family connection letters for all of our K-5 curriculum for all of our units. And so that can go home with all of the units, so they can see, how are my students learning math, and why are they learning it this way. So those are all the ways that I support math and how math is happening in our county. So we also have the additional math at the end, but if there are any questions, happy to answer them.
I just have a comment. I was fortunate enough to be allowed with your textbook adoption committee, but I was so impressed the way you included your teachers in that process and letting them have their voice, and the people that you brought in to explain things to them. And for about 5 seconds, I thought I might be able to teach math, but in reality,
you can do it. I'll help you.
I was really impressed with the way
Thank you.
You did the whole process and stuff. And,
thank you so much.
I agree. It was
Thank you so much.
impressive to watch.
I just have one quick. Go ahead. No, you good?
No, you started first. Go
Wow. Do you sleep?
I have a 5 and 7-year-old, so no, I don't.
Okay, so not much. Okay, all right. Understand. What can this board do for you, or for math, throughout the? Oh, wow.
We could use math specialists.
None of this is coming. Right?
Honestly, it goes on the budget and it comes off. I love math, and I have some great lead teachers, but they're also, teaching in the classroom. And if I have a K-5 lead teacher, they're trying to support K through 5. It would be absolutely to the benefit of our students to have math specialists in our buildings, to be able to continue some of those conversations that I'm only able to have a couple of times a month with them, or when it's the overview time. And I do, I take questions all the time, and is that me? And I'm happy to engage with teachers, and I do.
It's not, it's me, I'm
Okay,
sorry. I
that's
have it
okay.
on vibrate,
I'm happy to engage with teachers via email, and whenever they email me or through coming in to pop in with PLC meetings, but a math specialist in the building who is supporting the teachers with the best instructional practices is the best way that you can support math.
Do we have any right now?
No, I'm it.
You're it.
I'm it.
So where would you start?
Where would I start? I would start.
Let's say we live in utopia, and you said, school board, I would start in
Okay, so I would start with at least having full-time at our K-5 or split between like three, at least three. One to support the Locust Grove schools, one to support Unionville Lightfoot, and one to support Gordon Barber and OES.
Okay. Thank you.
That doesn't mean it's the best approach, but I mean, I would at least start with three.
Well, I see Judy and Renee nodding yes, so I mean, that says a lot, you know, to me. And then you got a compliment from Mr. Hawkins, who was a teacher for how long, Ron?
Well, 42 years in the
Yeah,
classroom.
that's a big deal. So, good job. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. The teachers work really hard and do a lot of work to support our students.
I'm fine. I just wanted to just recap. Did you say you were a teacher and then you grew into this position and developed all this information and now are the guru that are teaching everyone?
So I have been in the class, I was in the classroom I started off in 5th grade, I went to 3rd grade, I moved to middle school. I have my math specialist degree, worked with up to algebra. So I'm actually certified pre-K to algebra 1, along with my math specialist for K-12 and then admin degree. So yes, I started off as a teacher and I waited to see, you know, what is my like passion, and I just love math. I think just reading is so ambiguous to me, but math is so, I know the answer. Yeah. And so, yeah, so I just went that path and I just kept going. So here I am.
Well, again, just so excited about growing our own here in Orange County and giving people the opportunity to grow in the direction that they are passionate about so that we can engage those kids and excite them with great teaching and
And we
once
have
again,
some
just thank you.
amazing lead math teachers. I could just sit here and tell you all about some of the amazing work they're doing in their buildings, but we do have some amazing lead math teachers in this county.
Thank you.
And
If I
that
could add-
24 math thing that you talked about,
Yeah.
is that on the calendars?
It is on the calendars. I think, I'm going to say the wrong date. I think it's March 16th. I'm not
Coming up
sure.
soon.
I think it is.
But it's soon. Yeah, it's the middle of March and the end of April.
Do you mind if I say one more thing
Oh,
about
please do.
Sarah, because I think it really needs to be said. If you go back to slide number 2 or 3, right after the data, right there, go back. No, forward. One more. Yep. These instructional overviews, she didn't, I don't know if you caught that, but she does these for every grade level, for every unit.
Every unit.
Every unit that is taught, she does these overviews. And I've sat in one of them, Judy sits in them a lot. They're incredible. I'm like you, Mr. Hawkins. I think after watching one, I'm like, I could teach this. She's given me everything I need, which I really couldn't. I was an English teacher. No, I couldn't. But I just wanted to make sure that everybody heard that because it's incredible. A teacher has everything they need with what she creates. But think about how many units and how many grade levels, and she does it for every one of them, K through 8. So I just wanted to make sure that, yeah.
And that's linked on our agenda.
It is. I really, so I made the utmost mistake of linking it and forgetting that you guys are not part of the instruction drive. So I'll go back in as soon as I'm done with this and update the link so that you all have access.
And I couldn't find it, so I thought it was just my.
No, it's the fact that I
challenge
linked it
self.
from where I have it, but you guys aren't in there,
Yeah,
so
'cause
I'll
I
make
would
sure
love
it's
to dig
available.
into it a little
absolutely.
more in depth.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, that's
Happy
awesome.
to.
Thank you,
Yep.
Ms. Hallam. Anything
You're
else? Bravo.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
All right, so I do believe we are down to section 8, which is board member items. The first one up there is finalizing our plans for VSBA and SBMA services. We had an opportunity to discuss this at our board retreat and have come to an agreement that Ms. Byram is drafting a letter to renew our membership in the Virginia School Boards Association, which of course is VSBA, and that we will be contracting with SBMA, the School Board Member Alliance, for policy services. It'll be prorated for the remainder of this fiscal year. For I think it's right at $1,000, which will take us up to June, and that will give us a chance to evaluate that service, and then we'll make a decision beyond that. So this will be an action item at our next board meeting, which is next Monday, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Any other comments about that? Are we okay on? All right, and then moving on, item 8B, future alternate meeting locations. One of the things that also came up in the board retreat was our desire, we've talked about it multiple times before, but the desire to kind of take the show on the road, especially with Dr. Hornick's State of the Schools presentation and a chance to be more accessible to our geographic areas that are not right here in town. So probably the Locust Grove Middle School, perhaps Gordon Barber. And one of the challenges with that is we would have to impose on Mr. Bennett to try to set up the video streaming and recording and all of that kind of thing. So
No
it's
problem, right?
It's a little bit of a heavy lift for our tech people. Just as an aside, FYI, recording is a courtesy. It's not a legal requirement that we do that, but certainly we want it to be available for our community to be able to look it up and see what's going on. So if he can't do it, then it doesn't mean we can't go, but we would just like it if you could, Mr. Bennett. So we're looking at dates for that, and that will be coming up March, of course, starting with next week. We have all things budget coming down the pike, so that will be here, and then after that we'll think about going elsewhere. So stay tuned. We'll put some dates on the calendar for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Board member reports, item 9. Mr. Hawkins, Blue Ridge, Virginia Governor's School.
I had my first opportunity to attend one of their meetings several weeks ago, and I'll give you a brief synopsis. It says students were actively engaged in winter and spring programming, including AP biology work, Washington, D.C. experiences, senior presentations across the partner schools, and there's a lot of schools. I didn't even realize how many schools were involved in this region. The steering committee had recommended clearer, more consistent guidelines for filling open seats, including the use of wait lists and a streamlined summer admissions process. And I can attest from my years of teaching that this is a highly competitive thing, trying to get into the Blue Ridge Virtual Governor School. And so they're trying to refine that process a little bit more and tweak it a little bit. The AP Environmental Science Summer Reading and Optional Summer Institutes were proposed to support instructional quality. And they gave me the book. I haven't read it yet. Probably not my wheelhouse there, but I've read some of it, and it's very interesting. It's one of the reasons why I would probably have never made Blue Ridge Governor's School. All right. The new dual enrollment British literature course is being proposed for Madison County. That's a big deal for them. And basically, the board addressed routine financial certifications and governance, and I can give you the papers on all of that, but I'm afraid I'd bore you to death. But it was pretty basic. Good first experience. They guided me through that, and I became they made me feel real comfortable in the fact that they wanted me to second every motion. So I did that for them, and they were very happy with me. But it was my first experience.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Hawkins.
All right.
All right. Head Start policy. I think that's you too.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So I did my first virtual conference with the Head Start people the other day, and got to apologize. I was going to send you all my summary of this, and Dr. Hornick went over with me how to use AI for the first time, and it took me a while, and AI and we got to be friends, and it did a great job of summarizing what I wanted to do, but I think it was so proud of me, it wouldn't share it with any of you. So I'm going to read it to you, okay? All right. Okay. The Head Start Policy Council on February 17th reported outlines key program details and updates. The program currently serves 164 people, students, including 118 Head Start, 46 early Head Start students, and they're in the third year of a 5-year budget. Okay. Annual funding They get $1,777,861 from the federal government. That is a continuous flat rate. That's what they get to work their budget with, okay? $434,380 in non-federal contributions, which is a 20% match in kind support, okay? And they get additional support from the VPI for 4-year-olds transitioning to kindergarten. So those kids that are, they come in, they take that program, and they get them ready for kindergarten. And, you know, I go back a long ways. I mean, I see how, I've always known how important Head Start is, just talking to these people, and the boost it gives those kids. Because when I went to school, we didn't even have kindergarten, much less pre-kindergarten and Head Start. And I see these kids coming out of this program from people I know, and these kids can do more than I was doing in the 2nd grade, okay? I mean, it's pretty impressive, all right? It says the program provides breakfast, lunch, and snacks and is currently operating within the budget. Parent involvement is strongly encouraged, in particular reading aloud at home, and an upcoming parent engagement program called Not a Box, a Book. And that is, I think that is here. I'm not sure. That's here this Thursday, right? Okay. Yeah, I was trying to get all that.
Yeah.
Folks, I hadn't done anything virtual hardly ever in my life. I was doing this virtual on my telephone. I was so proud of myself that some of it escaped me because I was just so proud of myself. Okay. But that is scheduled for Thursday at TIAC. What is that, 4 to 6? 4 to 5:45. So, and everybody's invited. Yes, everybody's invited. But,
Mr. Seal, is y'all's meeting more entertaining, or do we win?
You all win.
We do have a Rod Hawkins.
Thank you, Mr. Hawkins.
Certainly.
Well done. All right, and Ms. Whittington.
All right, so I was able to attend the Academy of Technology and Innovation at Mary Washington College board meeting, and it was really fascinating for me because I didn't even know this program existed. This started after my kids were already out of school, so this was very new to me. It was kind of exciting because it was actually their mid-year report, so I got to hear all the fun stuff that they'd accomplished. And so right now they're in year 2 of a 3-year phase startup, and this was their mid-year report. They were given space in the University of Mary Washington building that they have worked to make it their own space for their programs, for their students. And so there was a lot of faculty improvements that were being reported on. The most exciting one might have been the food service. I don't know, but they seem very excited about the food service upgrades. Working with a local school to help them get their lunches and food in. But they've painted, they've added new flooring, they replaced all the hard surfaces, they have branding now, they have a computer lab, a maker space that I'm pretty jealous of. They get to do 3D printing and design things and make things that are very cool. They showed us one thing that held, you know how when you have your card games and the container for the card game eventually falls apart. These kids developed through a 3D printer this sort of plastic thing that locks together, and so the cards can be safe. And they were talking about how can they, become millionaires off of their invention, which is very exciting. And then they added a new call system. They're working on completion of their science lab. So that was the big facilities improvement that they went over. And it really is, you can tell there's a lot more room to make the space their own, but they've really done a lot. And then programs launch. This is their 2nd cohort. So this is grades 9 and 10. They're growing year by year by adding in another grade. And so they added new electives this year, graphic design, journalism. They expanded their art program and launched a student newspaper and a student-led yearbook. And their highlight was they engaged in a robotics competition, and they're one of the groups that put in a robot. Their team placed 2nd in the competition. So they're doing a lot of great stuff. And I just want to do a shout out to the transportation team here at Orange County because they make sure all those students that get accepted into the program make it all the way over into Stafford for that every single day. And then I found out there's competing spring breaks sometimes that come up that we have to deal with and navigate through in different time off. So just really impressed with their program, but just also that we're probably the furthest school that's participating in it. And so I just know it's a big lift for our team here to get those students there and make sure that we could be opened up to that program, because I think any student that's a part of that is probably pretty excited to be there.
How many students do we have going?
9?
We have, all of our seats are filled, correct? We should have 10.
10? Okay.
We should have, we have five sophomores, 5 freshmen, and then we have, the last check, Renee, 15, 16 applications for the 5 seats for the incoming freshmen, yes.
And it's decided by lottery, thank goodness, because if it wasn't, it would be really hard to dash people's hopes.
Correct.
Very cool. Nice. All right. Thank you, Mrs. Whittington. And then I'm up for the Prep Board, Piedmont Regional Education Program. And we met last Wednesday at the Ivy Creek School there in Charlottesville. The entire meeting focused on the upcoming budget, which is always a challenge because it's funded by the divisions that are part of it. There are 9 divisions, and trying to keep that affordable for school divisions to be able to enroll students there. So just as a update, since I didn't know when I first came on board, but what PREP is a public separate day school that provides special education and related services for students with emotional and behavioral disabilities in grades K-12. So Orange County we don't utilize the day school there at Ivy Creek, but we do utilize their assistive technology services and the Parent Resource Center. So they come to us, is that right, Ms. Ayler? For
assistive technology consultation.
Right, so, the biggest challenge is trying to figure out the budget from all of the different counties and being able to fund it. Mrs. Compel, the director, said she did talk to Delegate Carlson. I think she's from the Albemarle area, and she had put in a budget amendment for $500,000 to hopefully pay for the rental of the building that we're leasing there in Charlottesville. I know yesterday was Budget Sunday at the General Assembly. I don't know if that got talked about at all. I don't have an update on it, but it would be really wonderful. It would help so much if we could, because the lease payment is $250,000 a year on that building. So, good thing there's a discussion about launching an autism program for elementary for this coming school year. That's always talked about as a big need, so hopefully that will come to fruition. And then just many organizations that donate to help them do all the things that they do. There's a 5K coming up in April to raise some money, and then there's also a dedication of the Joseph H. Ballum Library there on April 15th at Ivy Creek, because the entire library was funded by Ballum's books. And so that's a cool thing. And the document's linked on there, so if you want to look up any of those kinds of things, it's all there. All right, that's PREP. Ed Foundation, Ms. Harrington.
Yes, ma'am, and thank you for your report. That was nice. So I was able to attend my first meeting at the Orange County Education Foundation on Tuesday, February 17th. I guess that was just last week. It was very interesting. There were a lot of people there. Some of the things that were discussed were, again, small items as approval of minutes, agenda. We had some information from the president, John Licata, and the primary focus of that meeting was discussion of the Celebration of Education Committee that you probably are familiar with. So in Orange County, apparently, for the last several years, I don't know how many years, they have had this celebration. And they want to change it up a little bit. They're feeling that it's been the same old, same people showing up, same type of presentation, and so they really want to try to improve that and bring more of actual education and educators and students and families into the process. I'm going to be working on a subcommittee with Judy Cooper and Jess Thompson to define that, and they already went through and developed a celebration overview. And so they are trying to reimagine from a traditional afternoon luncheon into a dynamic family-friendly community celebration designed to broaden participation, increase visibility, and deepen community engagement. They have quite a few goals, but some of the things they're looking at is a food experience, core event features, pig roast, centerpiece meal, live music and stage performing, hoping, again, these will be students performing for them. More of a festival style layout, and so that's what we will be getting together here. I will be talking to the superintendent and probably our executive directors as far as what seems feasible, because they are looking at trying to put this on in this spring. There was a lot of, I don't think you can do it that quickly, but Judy says, oh yeah, we can. So that's it, and I look forward to working with them on that. That was pretty much the primary discussion throughout the whole meeting, but it was interesting and I'm excited, so thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harrington. All right, that brings us down to item F, which is a brief report on our retreat, which happened on February the 4th. We got kicked out of Teak thanks to the ice. And Mr. Sarver welcomed us to the beautiful transportation building. So we enjoyed about 4 hours of very cozy time together discussing are things that were on the agenda. So I already mentioned VSBA, SBMA, that was one of the items. We could have spent the entire 4 hours with Mrs. Click, our new CFO. Lots of budget insights and explanations and ideas about budgeting. Mr. Sarver had some great ideas to share about transportation initiatives. We talked about community relations, visiting schools, us as individual board members visiting schools, and then also taking our school board meetings out into the schools. We discussed Dr. Hornick's evaluation process that we're legally bound to finish by the fiscal year beginning. We started work on implementing our committee meetings for more effective governance, and those are getting on track to start here within the next week. Governance and policy is one of them, and the legislative committee, those two in particular are ones that we have big dreams for, so we're going to kick those off. I think it's next Friday we meet, the committee meets. Collaborative, Dr. Hornick already referenced this, collaborative governance meetings with the Board of Supervisors. Those have already started and have been very productive. What we've talked, the meetings we've had so far, I think have been incredibly useful, and I'm looking forward to more of that. Briefly discussed some enrollment challenges that will be coming down the pike very soon. Actually, maybe you're already here. So we'll be talking more about that. And then we discussed making the retreat a quarterly event so that we have more opportunity for diving deep into some of these discussions, and we're not sitting up here taking your time while we talk about all of that. We did also agree that it's important to us that student achievement be a focus of each meeting, if possible. So thank you, math people and CTE and all of that for checking that off for us. And it's not just a box to check, it's important. That's why we're here. We want to know, are we headed in the right direction? If we're not, how do we fix it? So we appreciate those reports very much. And I think that was about it on the retreat. Any other comments, board, that I forgot? We're good? All right, so we are now at board member comments. Item 10, future items. Anybody?
Just to remind, we will be also connecting with the Finance and Budget Committee as well as we move forward, and we're working with the board to set dates for the presentation of the budget, as well as the public hearing and then the vote on the budget. So what I'd like to do then is, actually bring that forward and have it presented and, have everything squared away so we can do that next week and identify the dates, just to confirm. So that committee also, in addition to the governance and policy and legislative, our finance and budget team will also be playing a pretty active role here in the very, very near future.
Thank you, Dr. Wright.
Yes, ma'am.
Sandy's so happy. She gets to hang out with me.
So I had one potential future item, and I know it's been discussed before, but I don't think I wasn't here when it was discussed before, and I don't think it got driven home. I want to talk about devices and screens in the classrooms, and what's appropriate, age appropriate, and if anything has changed since we went crazy and added screens and devices to every student, and if we could potentially look at good reasoning to maybe pull back on some of that.
That has been a topic of discussion, I think, a couple of times, and it's worth pursuing, I think. And I'm personally interested in that. There's a lot of research out there, and I know, Mr. Bennett, you and I have had a couple of conversations about it. And in visiting the schools, I've asked a lot of the teachers about their feelings about it as well. Ms. Harrington and I have talked about it multiple times. So I don't know what the best way forward to do that is. Some sort of a study group, including.
That's a great retreat topic.
Yes.
Okay.
In
I'd
other
really
words,
like to.
be quiet about it and let's.
Well, no, I know
Get it.
Australia went so far as to set,
Yeah.
no
None.
cell phones.
Yeah, I think Sweden did that too. Actually.
So there is, everybody agrees there's a problem, but nobody can navigate a
How to
solution
manage it.
because it is Pandora's box. There's no question about it. So great retreat item.
Yeah, I think it's worth further discussion, and then probably bringing in our administrative team and some teachers to weigh in and discuss would be good. That kind of feeds into, if I could just jump in, since Ms. Whittington brought that up. I was reading the VDOE update newsletter. The last one that came out was February 19th, and there's a notice about the digital learning integration standards of learning has an open public comment period right now on the VDOE website. So if you're concerned about the digital learning piece of it, this is an opportunity to go to the VDOE webpage and look that up and put your comments in, and they'll be discussing that at the state level as well. So, do you have anything, Mr. Rickett?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Hawkins?
Thursday, Gordon Barber, is that?
Oh.
Yes.
We haven't heard if it's confirmed.
We are confirmed Thursday, Gordon Barber, 10 o'clock. Congressman Vindman and his team will be at Gordon Barber. We have been awarded a community project funding grant for $850,000 to put towards the completion of our final large-scale project at Gordon Barber, which is to expand the cafeteria and learning space, as well as the walkway connector to connect the both annexes to the main building. And so that is 10 o'clock, and we would love to have everybody present. And we are finishing up the program as we speak, and then we will likely have some supplemental appropriation and other information for the board regarding the Gordon Barber project, potentially as early as next Monday at our meeting, but certainly it will happen within March, as far as getting with you all, as far as our plans for how to move forward, how to fund supplemental appropriations, et cetera, to get that project across the board. As the board likely knows, but maybe not everybody, this was a project that was designed, and we paid for the design. We have it. Stantec was the architect firm. They are also the firm that designed the kindergarten expansion at Gordon Barber. And it was bid in October of 2024, and the lowest bid was more than $1 million more than what we had set aside for the project. So we still have our money for the project, plus this additional $850,000 now brings the project well within the ability and the scope to complete. And so step one will be to reach out and thank the congressman for helping get this particular project here across the finish line. And of course, he visited Gordon Barber. We applied last May in 2025. And then of course, he visited Gordon Barber at the beginning of this year. And so appreciate his drive to get it across the finish line to help complete this important project at Gordon Barber.
That's awesome.
And I would just add one thing. Thanks to Dr. Hornick and team because it's always a team effort with these guys. You know, I say to the young people and parents in District 1 at Gordon Barber, you know, just because you don't see us talking about it doesn't mean there's not things going on behind the scenes. We know what the priorities are, and finishing this project at Gordon Barber was a priority, and Dr. Hornick stayed on it. You know, he's not up here with, you know, shouting it from a megaphone. We push him to do this stuff, so thanks to him and his leadership and his team in getting it done, and that does complete every school, correct?
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah, and yes, this, we had set, there was money from previous look at Bluebell, expansion of CT into the Bluebell building, and when it was found pretty quickly a number of years ago that was not going to be a feasible option, I worked with the county administrator at the time to see if there would be a willingness to utilize the funds to complete some security upgrades and enhancement at 3 elementary schools in particular, Unionville, Lightfoot, and Gordon Barber. We completed Unionville and Lightfoot the summer before last, and so the last school year was the first they were in operation. Gordon Barber's is a more complex and more expensive project, again, because it's number one, it's a much larger project. There are 3 buildings it's connecting instead of just 2, and they are also geographically and physically farther distance apart. And also, as we look into the future and enrollment trends and what we may need to do, we felt it was very important to act now to expand the cafeteria, or it could also be used as a flexible learning space, much like the open area is in the kindergarten wing. And so that's why this project is considerably more complex than Unionville Lightfoot. Those were relatively simple from a design and a construction standpoint. This one's much more complex, but it will be a huge win for that community, for our community, and a huge win for Gordon Barber. And when we complete this project here, hopefully within the next year or less to have it complete. That means in the last 4 years, we've completed the kindergarten expansion. We will be able to get rid of all the trailers that are on site. We did a roof replacement. We utilized ESSER funding to completely overhaul the HVAC system. And now we will have our walkway connector and cafeteria expansion. And so that building is set up for numerous years into the future for success.
And again, I would like to thank Representative Vindman as well. In his visit, Dr. Hornick was able to articulate a need, and he came through, so we definitely thank him for that.
Yes, for sure. Thank you, Dr. Hornick. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you
for reminding me. I feel like February should have one more week. So, I don't know where February went, but it's this Thursday. Okay. Ms. Harrington, did you have anything to add for board comments?
I will save it until next time. On this coming Saturday, I will be in Virginia Beach judging the DECA competition, so I will bring back some information about that. I'm really excited, and after we get done tonight, I'm going to go home and finish doing my pre-judges.
Thank you for doing that, Sandy.
Yeah. And I was able to go, this one just occurred to me, Mrs. Harrington was there, I was able to go to the Hornet Heroes basketball game the other night. That was like, it was just so,
how could I
it was
forgot
wonderful.
that?
I don't have enough superlatives to even say, just, you left there just feeling so excited and so happy and so joyful, and congratulations to all the people.
It was a good game, too.
It was a good
was
game.
awesome.
It
was
I don't
so
know who
good.
that one kid is, but he was like hitting the
The 45, number 45.
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
The
It was
first game they
amazing.
played against Madison was a 1-pointer too.
Wow. It was incredible. I loved it. So
Yeah.
thank you, folks who did that. All right. Are we done?
Yes, ma'am.
I think we are at item 11. Meeting is now adjourned.
Thank you.
So I just close it because unless someone knows my password, they can't.